so we talk about the burnt offering. And it says it is a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. There are many offerings in the scriptures. The Jews were given to quite a lot of them because they were all shadows and types of the ultimate sacrifice of Jesus. And so because Jesus had not yet come, they had to be involved in certain sacrificing and ceremonies where offerings were offered. Sometimes they offered agricultural produces. Sometimes they offered pigeons. Sometimes they offered bulls and rams and all of that. But this particular offering is a very interesting offering. It says, you shall burn the whole ram on the altar. Everybody say the whole ram. The whole ram. It means that other offerings were not thoroughly burnt. This particular offering called the burnt offering is unique. It was totally burnt. Let me give you a better picture. Usually, when an offering is brought to the Lord, the offerings as an animal, it is killed. Yes, it is even roasted many times. But the priest would take some portion. The person that is bringing the offering will cut to there, sometimes even eat it in the presence of God. That was what happened to most of the offerings and sacrifices. All of it was not given to God. The priest will have his own share. The person giving the offering to will cut his own to eat some part of it. But this particular offering called the burnt offering, it says you shall burn the whole ram. The whole ram on the altar. It is a burnt offering to the Lord. It is a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire. So this offering was unique because every bit of it was offered to God. And so that when the fire was lit on it, the incense, the smoke will rise, every bit of it. And then God calls it, it is an offering made by fire. This should be the description of every Christian. Say this after me, I am an offering made by fire. Say louder, I am an offering made by fire. What does it mean? God does not want you giving him half of your life. Some people say I've given my life to Jesus, but what they mean is that they gave God half of their lives. Some people have given their hands to Jesus. They have not given their pockets to Jesus. Some people have given their eyes to Jesus. They have not given their ears to Jesus. To be a burnt offering, the entire offering is given absolutely. Many Christians say God controls a part of my life. For instance, my marital life. Many ladies want to marry a God-fearing husband. But that is probably the only time they use the word God-fearing when it comes to husband. I'm looking for a God-fearing husband. Many times they mean that they're looking for a man that will not beat them at home. He's a very gentle man. He's like Mumu. Even if he insults him, you say, that's a God-fearing man. It's okay to look for a God-fearing man, and of course you should marry a God-fearing man. But why is it that that phrase is only employed in marriage? Have you ever thought about having God-fearing jobs? How about God-fearing clothes? Oh yeah. How about God-fearing picture poses? Many people talk about just giving one part of their life to God, and it's to their advantage. They want to be protected. I'm looking for a God-fearing man. I want to have a godly home. What do you mean by godly home? What is a godly home? If you give birth to 3 children, and one day, after you have invested money to their life, send them to the best university, they say, Mom and Dad, we have received the call of God to be missionaries in Afghanistan. Will you say, a God-fearing home is what God gave me? I submit to God. Will you say that? You say, you are not serious. You heard a demon. It's not God that told you. You are not going anywhere. You must be this, you must be that. Many of us have not given our entire life to God. We are not yet burnt offerings the way we ought to be. In Romans chapter 12 and verse 1, it says, I beseech you by the mercies of God that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. A living sacrifice. It says this is your acceptable worship. If you are not giving God everything, God is not accepting it. That's the truth. When a burnt offering, the burnt offering was the most, selective offering. To give it, you must look for an animal that is without defect, a perfect animal, a healthy animal. So that you are giving everything to God, but you're not giving God something that is not valuable. The thing I'm talking about, I'm not talking about tithe and offering. Some of you have given your pockets to God. Fundamentally, your heart is still with you. I've seen this, that many times people have monetized this concept of giving. Present your bodies a living sacrifice, not your pockets. Well, thank God for your offerings and tithes. But listen to me, if your life is not totally submitted to God, God is not impressed. God is not impressed until he gets everything. Your life must become a burnt offering. It is on this basis that it is an aroma pleasing to God. Go back to the Exodus 28 scripture. People are offering many things that are odors to God, foul odors. And it's because they want to scam God. They say, let me give God this so that he can do this for me. No! Give your entire life. Drop it at the altar. A living sacrifice. Holy and acceptable. This is what makes for a sweet aroma.